All right, so you're going on a missions trip. Tell me about it.
So my family and I, my husband and our three girls, will be leaving Thursday this week and heading out for a year to Kenya. We've been several times and have been called to long-term missions, but this is the first time that we've stayed for this long.
Are you going as part of a church or are you going on your own?
Our church is actually part of the group that's sending us, but we are working through an organization called Church Missions Network. We'll be doing medical missions and water missions.
And what does that entail?
We will be living on a compound there outside of the city of Kisumu, basically in the bush, called Owasi, Kenya is the village. And we will be living on a compound with a medical clinic and an orphanage. We'll be overseeing the medical clinic as well as the orphanage and helping to teach them how to self-sustain there on the property. We'll be traveling to Uganda and Tanzania within the year, doing medical missions, and then my husband's going to be building churches.
Now, do you guys have any medical experience or you do?
Yes, ma'am. So I'm an RN.
Okay.
And like I said, I've been traveling back and forth there doing medical missions for about 6 years now.
Okay. So are you nervous?
I'm not nervous. I'm ready. I'm so ready. We've been praying over this and talking about it for about 6 years now.
So this is obviously a calling. I mean, how did you decide?
Well, like I've told many people, when I was 16, I felt called to serve people in Africa. I wasn't for sure what country on the continent I would serve in, but knew that there was a certain people group in Africa that I would serve. And then I met my husband in college, and he wasn't called to foreign mission work until about 6 years ago. And he came to me and said we needed to start praying about long-term work, and that he felt like it would be somewhere in Africa.
Well, how did you choose Africa? I mean, of all the countries in the world to do mission work, why Africa?
Yeah, I didn't choose Africa. I say Africa chose me. When I was 16, I heard a man speak, and to this day, I don't remember where he was from in Africa, but I remember the music that he played, and I would weep. And from then on, whenever I would hear music that I would call African music, tribal music, it would move me, and I would cry, knowing that there was a longing in my soul to know it more and to know the people there.
So what do you hope to gain from this?
I don't want to gain anything. I just pray that I'm a blessing to the people there, that we're able to touch lives there, that we're able to change hearts and souls for Jesus.
So tell me about the store.
So the store I started around a year ago as a give back boutique. On our travels to Kenya, we found that if you can give the kids there an education, then you can give them a future. And so we specifically started it to give back. We wanted to give back specifically for education. So what we do is we give 10% of our proceeds back to Kenyan orphans for education. Right now the store has 3 kids in high school and 1 in college there in Kenya.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's
And
pretty neat.
was that something you just decided to do because of your mission work, or?
Yes, ma'am. So the organization that we travel with provides clean water. They provide them food. They provide 3 warm meals a week. And so what we saw, my husband and I saw, was that another way we could change their future and change their lives was to give them an education. So many of those kids are street orphans because their parents have died of HIV and AIDS, so they have no way of going to school.